In a small village nestled by the sea, there lived a young man named Tam. His life was one of hard work and solitude. From the crack of dawn until the last ray of sunset, he toiled in the fields. Despite his humble and lonely existence, Tam's heart was full of kindness, and he never uttered a word of complaint. One evening, as he walked the familiar path home, his eyes fell upon a small, delicate snail lying helpless in his way. A wave of compassion washed over him. He carefully picked up the tiny creature and carried it to a small, clear pond near his house, placing it gently in the water where it would be safe. From that day forward, a quiet magic began to unfold in Tam's life. Every time he returned from a long day's work, he was greeted by an astonishing sight. His small hut was spotlessly clean. A warm meal of freshly cooked rice was waiting for him, and his clothes were washed, dried, and neatly folded. But no matter how quickly he arrived, there was never anyone to be seen. It was a mystery that both warmed and puzzled him. Determined to uncover the secret of his benevolent, invisible helper, Tam devised a plan. One morning, instead of heading to the fields, he pretended to leave, but quietly hid behind his door, peering through a crack. He waited patiently as the sun climbed higher in the sky. Then he saw it. The little snail he had saved crawled out of the pond and onto the bank. In a shimmering, magical light, the snail transformed into a breathtakingly beautiful young woman. She moved with a gentle grace, her hands working skillfully as she swept the floor, cooked the rice, and hummed a soft, enchanting melody. Tam watched, utterly captivated, as she brought warmth and order to his simple home. When her chores were complete, she transformed back into a snail and slipped silently back into the pond. Overcome with awe and gratitude, Tam could no longer stay hidden. The next day, as she finished her work and began to turn back toward the water, he stepped out from his hiding place. "Wait," he called out, his voice filled with emotion. "Please don't go." Startled, the young woman turned, her cheeks blushing a lovely shade of pink. "I am the Snail Princess," she explained in a voice as soft as a breeze. "The great Jade Emperor sent me to the mortal world to repay your kindness for saving my life. If it is your wish, I can stay here with you." Tam's heart soared with joy. He had never dreamed of such happiness. He asked her to be his wife, and she joyfully accepted. From that day on, they lived together in perfect harmony. The Snail Princess, now Tam's beloved wife, brought light and laughter into his life, and she no longer had to return to her shell in the pond. Their home was filled with love and contentment. But happiness, like a bright flower, can attract the envy of others. In the same village lived an old woman whose heart had grown hard and greedy with age. She watched the couple's happiness from afar, and a bitter jealousy took root in her soul. She coveted their joy and plotted to take it for herself. One day, knowing Tam was away working in the distant fields, the old woman put her cruel plan into motion. She went to their home and, with a sweet and deceptive voice, tricked the kind-hearted Snail Princess into visiting her house. The princess, trusting and gentle, saw no harm and agreed to go. But as soon as she stepped inside the old woman's hut, the trap was sprung. The wicked woman seized her and, in an act of pure malice, found the princess's empty snail shell and threw it into the roaring fire. The beautiful pearlescent shell crackled and turned to ash. When Tam returned home that evening, expecting the warm embrace of his wife, he found the house empty and cold. A terrible silence greeted him. His wife was gone. He called her name, his voice echoing in the sudden emptiness. He searched every corner of the village, every path in the woods, but she was nowhere to be found. Heartbroken, Tam returned to the pond where he had first found her. Day after day, he sat by the water's edge, his heart heavy with sorrow, weeping for his lost love. The world had lost its color, and his life had returned to a crushing loneliness. Then, one night, as he slept fitfully, the Snail Princess came to him in a dream. She appeared just as beautiful as he remembered, though her form was translucent, like moonlight on water. "My dearest husband," she said, her voice filled with love and sadness. "My shell has been burned, and I can no longer remain in your world. My physical form is gone forever." Tears streamed down Tam's face, even in his sleep. "But listen closely," she continued gently. "Our love is not gone. Go to the garden and dig beneath the old banyan tree. There you will find a golden loom. Keep it safe, and through it, remember me." The next morning, with a heavy but determined heart, Tam followed his wife's instructions. He dug beneath the ancient tree, and his shovel soon struck something hard. Carefully, he unearthed a magnificent loom, crafted from shining, pure gold. It gleamed in the morning sun, a final, precious gift from his beloved. He carried it into his home and placed it in the center of the room. As his fingers brushed against the golden threads, a miracle occurred. He heard a soft, musical humming, and then the gentle voice of his wife, singing the same enchanting melody he had heard when he first saw her. The song filled the room, weaving a tapestry of sound. "We've love, we've peace," she sang. "My heart is with you always." From that day forward, Tam treasured the golden loom above all else. He never remarried, keeping the memory of his Snail Princess alive in his heart. And for the rest of his life, whenever he touched the loom, her song would fill his home, a constant, loving reminder that, though they were worlds apart, their love would never truly end. On quiet nights, the other villagers would sometimes pause and listen, catching the faint, beautiful hum drifting from Tam's window, the eternal song of the Snail Princess. Thank you so much for joining me for this beautiful story. If you enjoyed this journey into Vietnamese folklore, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tales from around the world. We'd love to have you with us. See you next time.